Hey everyone! Alright, today's video is going to be over percent of change, your objective. I will be able to solve application problems involving percents, and in this specific video it would be percent of change. So let's talk about what that means. So a percent of change is the percentage that a quantity increases or decreases from its original amount. And as always, we are going to use our percent wheel to help us solve these problems. So now, situations are the same, but our vocab has changed on the percent wheel. So the part is going to be the amount of change. The whole is going to be the original amount. So let's say we have a problem and they don't tell us how much something has changed by. They will tell us the original and the new amount, so we'll just take the bigger minus the smaller, and that'll tell us the amount of increase or decrease. And you'll see an example of that momentarily. Alright, example 1. Mrs. Erickson's class size was 25 students. 4 students were then added to the class. Find the percent of change in the number of students. So first, let's identify if this is a percent of increase or decrease. So there were originally 25 students, and 4 more were added to the class. So that means this is a percent of increase. Okay, so there were originally 25 students in the class. So since that was the original amount, the whole would be 25. It says 4 students were then added to the class. That would be the amount of change because the class size changed by 4 students. And then obviously we're missing our percent of change. So since I'm missing that, I know I'm going to take the part divided by the whole, which would be 4 divided by 25, and top dog goes in the house. 25 cannot go into 4, so I'm going to add a decimal and a 0. 25 goes into 40 one time. And we get a remainder of 15. So we're going to add another 0. And 25 would go into 150 6 times. And that comes out to 150, and we get a remainder of 0. So we are done dividing. So we get 0.16 as our answer, but keep in mind it says find the percent of change. So changing a decimal to a percent, we're just going to move that decimal to the right 2 times, and that would equal 16%. So there was a 16% increase in that class size. All right, example 2. A jacket at $48 is on sale for $30. Find the percent of change in the price of the jacket. So the jacket started at $48, then it was on sale for $30. So we know that it has decreased in price, so this would be a percent of decrease. So now we want to fill in the percent wheel. So the original amount was $48. Now the part is the amount of change. So the jacket went from $48 to $30, but it did not tell us how much it changed by. So we have to figure that out on our own. So we're just going to take the bigger number and subtract the smaller number. So the change would be the original price of $48 minus the new price of $30, and it would be $18. So that is the part. And then obviously we're missing our percent because we're trying to find percent of change. So I'm going to cover that up. So again, we have part divided by whole. And that would be 18 divided by 48. And then top dog goes in the house. Alright, 48 cannot go into 18, so I'm going to add a decimal and a 0. 48 can go into 180 3 times. And if you're not sure how many times 48 would go into 180, round 48 up to 50. 50 times 3 is 150, so 48 times 3 should be pretty close to that. And that would actually be 144. So we can't do 0 minus 4, we borrow from the 8. 10 minus 4 is 6, 7 minus 4 is 3. So we get 36 left over, and that is less than what we're dividing by. So we know that 3 is the maximum amount. It could go into 180. So let's add another 0. Now 48 could go into 367 times, and that would be 336. And I'm going to do my subtraction. Now if you feel like this is going too fast, remember you can pause it and you can work these out on your own, and you can always rewind. So I get 24 left over, I'm going to add a 0, and 48 goes into 245 times evenly. We get a remainder of 0. So we get 0.375, but again we are finding a percent of change, so we have to take the decimal and move it 2 places to the right, and we get 37.5%. So this jacket decreased by a percentage of 37.5%. Okay, now it is time for you to try. So if you're on a cell phone, remember you have to exit full screen to actually see the You Tried question. So make sure that you do get that answered in EduCanon so that you get your credit for your video, and bring your notes with you to class the next day. All right, have a good day.